I am Ganesha. Thank you for coming back here. Today's topic would be Active Directory, which is the second series of Windows Server 2012 context. Why do we need an Active Directory? Sometimes we might have a situation where everything needs to be under our control to stop happening such crazy things. This is reflected back into the computer world to introduce the familiar concept called LDAP. It's a set of rules used by directory services. Considering each and every resource in a network as an object, the primary purpose of an Active Directory is to provide a schematic set of records, usually in a hierarchical manner, which is similar to telephone directory, containing the list of subscribers with their contact numbers and the addresses. This system was used to just monitor the objects in the current network. Actually, the concept of LDAP began to emerge even before the founding of Microsoft, which was on April 1975. After a lot of struggles, finally the previewed version of Active Directory was released by Windows Server 2000, which was something around 7 years ago. Later it was renamed into ADDS, that is Active Directory Domain Services, on adding tons of new features to it. Now, what is an Active Directory? The best definition that struck my mind of an Active Directory is the centralized authentication and management of the objects in the domain, which may sound crazy unless otherwise you get to know the following scenario. Consider a kingdom named the Kingdom of Narnia as a part ruled by Aslan and the rest of the part ruled by Lucy, with a number of villages, peoples and huts in it. Here, the forest refers to the area of the kingdom, while the domain refers to the name of the part ruled by Aslan or Lucy. Here, the Aslan or Lucy plays the domain controller role, while the objects refer to the villages, huts, peoples, trees in the kingdom. With this understanding, let us consider an example. Consider yourself working in a very big organization named the ABC Solution with a working Active Directory installed and configured in it. With the server installed and configured as the domain controller, which manages and provides the access to the employees, the forest would refer to the area in your organization which is under the server's control, while the computers, printer and other network stuffs are the user IDs of the employees or the objects. Well, the organization would have some specific domain name called the ABC or the ABCWW as of your organization's wish. The interesting thing is, whenever user ID is created in the server, he has got all rights to log into any computer in the forest with a username just prefixed with the domain name. This is possible because all the information of the objects are stored in a place called Schema. The Schema is a part of Active Directory that defines the objects of the forest. For more information, ntds.dit is a database file which contains the details of the objects. Also remember that the domain controller can have another server in its forest which helps to configure the server for a separate role. Keeping in mind that each and every version of Windows Server comes with the updated version of Schema, upgrading the forest functional level is always a challenging part. First, the forest has to be prepared by upgrading the Schema by running the AdPrep program, that is the Active Directory preparation program, in each and every server in the forest, followed by which the server installation process is carried out. Back to the topic, the functional level refers to the version of the server that is currently active in the forest. In an alternative way, if your existing environment is run by 2008 server edition and a new server of 2012 is yet to add into the forest, then the new server that is to be configured as a member of 2008's forest, the new server should have a 2008's functional level in order to include into the forest successfully and also to keep the forest stable. Only if all the servers in the forest is upgraded to server 2012, the functional level is to be raised. Now what if the server 2012 is used with a lower functional level? it would be completely stable, but the only thing is the features of Windows Server 2012 will be unused and will be sleeping deep into your computer in a folder called WinSXS folder. By the way, the WinSXS folder is a place where all the binaries, that is the installation source required for the features to be installed, resides. Well, that might be a lot of information in the previous topics. Well, how does this client-server interaction and the management and the authentication stuffs are working? Well, apart from LDAP, for directory services, MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, developed Kerberos protocol to protect the network services. It was fairly used by Windows operating system for password encryptions. The vast development of Kerberos made Microsoft to use it as a default authentication program between the client and the server. For now, Kerberos 5 is the latest stable version. Speaking about the authentication, the objects of the Active Directory are classified into two groups, the security group and the distribution group. The security group is for managing and authentication purpose, while the distribution group is for mailing purpose. That is similar to the group texting in WhatsApp. Okay, apart from group types, the users are classified into three different group scopes. If a user is of type domain local, then the user is authorized to only log into the server in which his or her user ID was generated. Well, or else, if the user is of type global user, then the user can access and log into any computer within that domain. Okay, the special scenario is the universal user. Here, the user will have the freedom to use the computer across the domain, which means the user is authorized to use a computer which belongs to different domain or even to different forest. You might wonder how a universal user will be able to log into a different domain or to a different forest. Well, that is a tricky task and we will discuss it in the next video. If you had a chance of enhancing your knowledge by this video, I am so much happy for you. So, or if there is some corners that I need to work on, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. And also, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and make sure you click on the tiny little subscribe button right below in the video. Thank you for watching. Meet you in the next video. Until then, it's bye bye from Dinesh.